There's a very important point that we have to discuss, and that's dealing with a concept that we learn from Moshe and Yitro. What is that? Yitro goes out of his way, and he goes to the Midbar. You have to understand something. Imagine you're sitting in a palace, you're chilling, you're this, you're that. Yitro was like was a big high priest. He wasn't a regular Joe Schmo, like a regular guy. He was a goy that was a priest, and he had prestige. You have to understand, he was one he was one of the advisors of Paro himself. So you can imagine, if you're an advisor to Paro, you got to be a high stature, a high profile individual. You understand? So he's a very high profile individual. Now he's sitting there, and he goes to the Midbar. He goes actually to the desert to get Chizuk, meaning to say for himself, he wants to learn. He wants to go to he's going to the Midbar, and he's going to learn. So what does the Pasuk say? Pasuk says that Moshe gave Chizuk to learn. What does that mean? You don't need Chizuk to learn. He wants to learn. That's why he came to the Midbar. What's saying? The Psukim is saying, Vaysaper Moshe el Yitro. Moshe is speaking to Yitro. Rashi says over there, Mehazekim. He's already Chazak. That's why he's coming. He's leaving everything to go to the Midbar for that reason. So what's going on over here? The answer is like this. There's once, Davetz Hayim, we know there was an encounter when Rabbi Scheinberg, he was very, very young at the time. Rabbi Scheinberg, Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, was very, very young. And at the time, big tzaddik, big tamei chacham, massive gadol ador. And at the time, he traveled from America to learn in the Mir. Back in the day, in the what do you say, in the 30s, early 30s, right? Maybe late 20s even, right? There was no plumbing in Mir, in Europe, in the place where they were. And in America they had. So imagine, in the middle of the night, you have to use the restroom. You have to use the bathroom. Imagine now going in the freezing cold in a winter day, going all the way outside to, it's crazy. It's like nuts. So Reb Scheinberg, he left everything to learn in the Mir for about a few years. Like, it was supposed to be like for 5 years straight, basically learning nonstop. And he did it, and he went to do it. Now he gets there, so now everybody in the Mir was going crazy. Like, wow, look at this. He came from America to learn Torah. Whoa! They went to Havetz Haim, and they told Havetz Haim, there's a bacher over here, Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, that came from America to learn. Whoa! And he left everything to come learn. Whoa! And they thought that Havetz Haim was going to say something. Whoa! What does Havetz Haim say? He says, it's like he was like, so, like yeah, and like I'm saying, Hashem came from Shamayim. He left the heavens. You know how high the heavens are? He left the heavens to give us the Torah on earth. He left light years of miles and miles away to give the Torah to us. Right? So it says, so what's the Hashem did it? Like, what are you trying to say? Now I was always bothered. Shouldn't you give the guy Chizuk, amazing, this, that? You understand? Of course, nowadays you have to. Nowadays, a guy comes to learn, you gotta, wow, amazing, you're doing great. That's the generation we're living in. That you gotta go wild on the guy. Oh, you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing. But Chavetz Chaim was trying to teach a very important lesson, and that is, don't think that you're being moser nefesh for Torah. Meaning why? Because it's Pirkei Avot. And I'll tell you right now. Because it's our life. Let's say, for example, you're growing hair. You take a haircut, and all of a sudden you say you're growing hair. Oh my goodness, you look in the mirror. Oh my goodness, I grew hair. My hair grew back. Are you going to do that or no? No, but your hair grew back. You had a fro, and now, oh my goodness, it came back. Are you going to do that, yes or no? Joe, what do you think? You going to do that or no? No. You're not going to do that because that's the way life is.
My hair grew back.
Hey, appreciate you here while you have it, boys. No joke. Alright. How about this guy? Anyway, so it says like, so now your hair grows back. You take a haircut, your hair grows back. That's the obvious thing. You're not going to go crazy about it. So the inyan over here is, you're learning, that's our life. That's our life. That's your life, to learn Torah. That's what we're created for. We're created to learn Torah. That's what we're created for. That's what's supposed. Oh, I breathe today. That's normal thing. Oh, by the way, my hair grew back. Oh, I got a little beard. That's like normalcy. So what he wants to do is, Havetz Haim was really teaching Rav Scheinberg, like in a way, teaching everybody that's what we're supposed to do. If the Torah was supposed to be in heaven, you would to find a way to go get the Torah. Because it says, Lo b'shamayim hi. The Torah isn't b'shamayim. It's like, very famous. And if it was b'shamayim, you would have to go to heaven and get it. But how are you going to get there? Figure it out. You'll create something. You see what they did, a spaceship. There's that. You'll figure it out to get to Shamayim. You'll figure it out. I don't know how you're going to get there, but you'll get there. You'll figure it out. Because Torah is our life, and we're supposed to do everything in our possibility, everything in our being, to get it, to learn it, to penetrate within us, to really be part of our lives. It's got to be part of our lives, because that is our lives. It's really our life, by the way. It's really our life. And therefore, what Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Yitro in a way was saying, Yitro, you left the comfort of your home to live in the Midbar for 40 years to learn with us, and you're looking at yourself, wow, look what I did, it's great. But I want to tell you something. I want to give you Chizuk to tell you that's our life. This is a lifestyle. It's not just a thing. Oh, I learned today, great, put a check, very good. But that's your life. You have to get to the level where there's no such thing as not learning today. There's no such thing as not learning today. What does that mean? I didn't learn today? What does that mean? I didn't learn. What? What does that mean? You didn't learn today? What? It doesn't make sense. What do you didn't learn today? Rabbi Yosef Palacci writes in a sefer, he has a diary of himself, like writing about a sefer about himself, and he says that he was so busy, and he was like crying writing the letter. You could see him crying writing the letter without seeing him. He's crying, writing the letter. You understand? Today, I was in the Bet Din, and I had a case like this, and I had a case like that, and I had a case like this, and I had a case like that. Back to back to back to back, busy all day. He's writing this. I was busy all day. I finally got home at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm dead tired. I'm wiped out. I didn't have a chance to open my Gemara the whole day. He's crying. And then he writes, but anybody who's all second the Tzibur, Ki'ilu Lama, then he's trying to justify, it's like I learned it, it was the case, and he's going wild with it. So therefore, a person has to understand that Moshe was telling Yitro, you sacrifice, very good, tap yourself on the back, but just know this is our lifestyle. Why? Because if you feel you're sacrificing the Torah, eventually you can't keep sacrificing. Very, very hard to always sacrifice. You're not sacrificing. This is the way of life. You understand? This is our life. You understand? It's very important to know that. And as men, even ladies, but men especially, needs to steig in the Torah. You have to grow in the Torah. It has to be charuta libecha. Charuta libecha means it has to be engraved in your heart. It has to be engraved in your mind. You learn. Very good. But you have to review what you learned. You have to review it. You learn in Gemara. Guys learn Gemara. It's chaval. Because after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you go to them, you know anything? Oh, I think I learned that in, I think the Masechet is this, and you gotta know it like this. You gotta know it like this. Review it. You know how many times the Gedolim used to review the Gemara?
I used to review everything 40 times.
More. I have news for you. It's much more. I have much more. You're saying 40, I have much more. It was much more than 40 times. Guaranteed. You can ask Rabbi Shtelbi, and he'll tell you much more than 40 times. We're talking about these Gdolim. There's a Chavruder of Tzvi Pesach Frank. He learned the Gemara 90 times from Yevamot till Daf. I think he went a few pages, I don't know how many prakim in. He learned it 90 times with his Havruta. After 90 times, his Havruta says, okay, we learned all these pages 90 times, let's move on. He says, no, I got to review it again. And his Havruta did a review with him, and he reviewed it, and he became from Tzvi Pesach Frank. One of his Havrutas that he had, he became the Gdolei Ador of Tzvi Pesach Frank. Because the Gdolim, they learned it again and 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 again. They didn't stop. And guess what? I have news for you. The more you review it, the more you know it, the more it becomes part of you, the more you love it. The more you love it. You love it like you can't leave it. You're like, this is part of me. No joke. I finished a Masechet a lot of times. The same one again and again, right? So I made siyum like a lot of times in my house. So one of my kids tells me, I feel this Masechet is part of my life. Like every time we're hearing about it, we're doing it, we're here. So I feel like this is my Masechet, like part of my life. You know, we're sitting on the Shabbat table, I'm making I did it again. It's like, I feel it's part of my life. This Masechet is part of my life. And the kid will never forget it in his entire life. My child will never forget it in his entire life. Growing up as a kid, oh, my daddy did it to you one day and again and again and again and again and again. And it's in my head. But guess what? You do it more and more. You see it's part of your life more and more, and you'll see you love it. You know, there's a mahloket in Gemara Ta'anit where it says, are you allowed to learn on Tisha B'Av? So everybody says you're not allowed to learn Tisha B'Av because it gives you simcha. But there's one opinion that says something that you never learned before, you're allowed to learn, but something that you already know, you're not allowed to learn. So why? She says, you know what she says? Something that you never learned before, it's hard to figure out. So you're breaking your head. But something you know so well and you're just like going through it, you love it so much, it's too much simcha to do on Tisha B'Av. You know what's going on? So Hashem, we have to know this. We have to shtay, guys. Remember this. Pass it around to your friends, to your family. And Hashem, we have great things. Have a great night.